early look at Khaz Algar zones in the War Within pre-alpha. Oh, shit. Okay, let's see what Mr. GM found here. I'm excited for this zone. I think it looks cool, very Hobbit-esque, very fun, very dwarfy. Let's see what he found.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Khaz Algar, which is our new continent of the next World of Warcraft expansion, The War Within. And in this video we're going to take a look at the 4 zones of Khaz Algar, what they look like, a little bit of information about it as of pre-alpha, which is where we're at right now as we're just kind of waiting for alpha to launch. But before we jump into all of the zones, I just want to thank the sponsor of this video, and that is boot.dev. The folks at boot.dev believe the smartest way to learn code is to make sure you're never bored. Boot.dev is online, self-paced, and feels like a captivating RPG game. The platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code, because getting your hands on the keyboard and shipping projects is the only way to really learn. As I mentioned, it makes learning feel like an RPG. You can earn XP, levels, achievements, and complete quests to get the top spot on the global leaderboard. Nice. Boot.dev never want a student to feel like they spend money on something that isn't helping them, so they offer a 30-day no questions asked refund policy and a free demo of every course and its interactive features. The boot.dev team also have an active Discord community that is there to help you if you ever get stuck with your coding challenges. So if you want to start working towards your future career in backend development, click the link in the description box and use my code MrGM to get 25% off your first payment for boot.dev.
There it is.
That's 25% off your first year, depending on the subscription you choose. And thanks again to boot.dev for sponsoring this video. Right, so yes, The War Within is coming this year in 2024, and with this new expansion is a brand new continent called Khaz Algar. This continent was the subject of rumors and fake leaks for a long time, and it looks like in The War Within we are going to Khaz Algar. So Khaz Algar is an island on the western shore of Pandaria, to the right-hand side of Kalimdor if you're looking at the map. Now, on the map preview that we did get at BlizzCon, they did show that the boat actually travels from the Dragon Isles.
Oh, I never even noticed that. He's right. Holy crap. We're going to go from the Dragon Isles to Khaz Algar? I'm surprised we're not going to leave from, like, Stormwind and Orgrimmar. Okay, so we're going to go... Probably the storyline just kicks off that way. Malden here for my part of YouTube.
Here is my part of YouTube plus Kappa.
Oh, God, this is going to become a meme, isn't it? Oh, man. Okay, thank you, Malden, for the 12 months. That's a 1 year. Holy crap, man. 1 year being a Death Knight of our Scourge. Thank you, Malden.
So potentially could be from Belameth or one of the other areas in the Dragon Isles, but it looks like we are going to be traveling from the Dragon Isles to Khaz Algar, which is pretty interesting. And I would imagine as we continue through the Dragonflight story, we will eventually understand where exactly we're going to be leaving from. Now, the interesting thing about Khaz Algar is that 3 of the 4 zones are actually underground, and we'll talk about those zones in a moment. This concept...
Yeah, it's interesting that this whole thing's vertical. First vertical expansion, you could say, right? This isn't laid out like a normal expansion would be.
In a moment. This continent will utilize the new airlock technology that we first saw in the Zaralek Cavern, where you go into the cavern. It's like a seamless transition into the underground zone. And these zones are, of course, built with dynamic flight in mind. Dynamic flight becoming the standard of flying in.
Wait, he flew in? What? When was this? BlizzCon 23? Did they show this? I never seen this. These clips.
War Within.
Yeah, I just reposted.
Now, according to Blizzard, these zones do not feel underground, so obviously we'll see what happens with that once it gets in.
Oh, damn. Yeah, look at that. Look at the skybox. It does look like a sky. This is Hallowfall, clearly, the crystals right here. It does look like an open sky. This does not look like an underground zone, which I was worried about. We spent Unreal Blue. Finally able to Prime again.
Finally able to afford Prime again.
Thank you for the 9 months, Unreal Blue. I appreciate that. Death Knight of our Scourge. Yeah, this, I was worried about it after the Zarlek Caverns. I was like, I've spent enough time underground. I don't know if I want to go back under. But this looks beautiful.
Into Alpha. So let's jump into the first zone of Khaz Algar, and that is the Isle of Dawn. Now, this is the only zone you will see on the surface of Khaz Algar. This is the home of the Earthen Surface Dwellers. Now, I really like this zone a lot. I love that it's kind of like Stormsong Valley mixed with a bit of like Dwarven architecture and like a 2024 art style that just looks phenomenal. Not only will the Earthen be living here, but also some island natives, including some fire bees, which sounds pretty awesome, and some storm griffins at the area called the Stormwatch, which looks fantastic. Obviously, the Storm Griffin model is the model used for the Collector's Edition mount that you might already have. This zone will also feature the capital city of the expansion called Dawn of Gaul. This is a dwarven city which looks phenomenal in all of the...
Yeah, that looks awesome, man. I love the dwarven art, that squared off dwarven architecture. I think it's so cool. I always liked Ironforge. as in terms of like how it looked, how it felt. And this is very Ironforge-esque, except it's outdoors, which is really cool.
E-roll footage that we did see at BlizzCon and the promotional images. So Dornogal is going to be the main city for the Horde and Alliance, so no doubt you're going to be spending a lot of time here in the War Within. The Isle of Dawn will also feature 3 delves, the Earthcrawl Mines, the Kriegvul's Rest, and the Fungal Folly, as well as 2 dungeons. You have the Rookery...
And don't forget, those delves are going to be part of your weekly vault, so that's going to be cool stuff to do, that open world content,
which is a level up dungeon, and the Cinderbrood Meadery, which is a max level dungeon, which features those fiery bees we mentioned previously. Overall, I think the Isle of Dawn is going to be a really nice looking zone. I'm always a fan of like Stormsong Valley and Nagrand and zones like that. And the Isle of Dawn definitely fits that criteria with obviously the Dwarven architecture as well. So really yeah, that's going to be the first zone you encounter on Khaz Algar. So the next zone you'll encounter in Khaz Algar is the Ringing Deeps. Now this is under the Isle of Dawn, and this is a huge underground mine. Now what's cool about this zone is it sounds like there's going to be cracks in the roof.
This is an interesting one. It's probably the least excited that I am for any of the zones. It kind of looks like a very standard, oh, we're in a cave-esque zone, but maybe there's some cool lore
parts of the Isle of Dawn, so not all of it will feel completely underground here. This is where
supposedly there's like openings to the surface. I remember them talking about this. There's openings to the surface where light is coming in and there's foliage growing because of the light.
Around here. This is where you're going to encounter a lot of earthen foundries and forges and things like that. From the B-roll, it looks like a pretty dark zone, but it does have some light areas as well, which is really cool. You're also going to see a lot of kobolds down here. Now, there are a bunch of new kobold models.
These are definitely Giga Chad kobolds. Look how buff they are. These kobolds been lifting.
As well, and this is where their capital city will be, with their leader, the Candle King. So that's going to be a part of the Ringing Deeps. Now, the Ringing Deeps will feature 2 delves. It will have the Waterworks and the Dread Pit, as well as 2 dungeons, the Stone Vault, which will be the level up dungeon.
So, I didn't realize this. So is each zone going to have a different delve? A bunch of different delves.
And the Dark Flame Cleft, which is a max level dungeon in the Ringing Deeps. From the Ringing Deeps, you'll move into Hallowfall, which is your 3rd zone in the War Within. Now, Hallowfall is a vast hallow area in the earth bordered by an endless underground.
This is the most excited I am for any zone. This zone's just going to have such cool lore behind it. The Arathi humans there, the badass paladin looking gear. And I'm not even a paladin, but this shit looks just way too cool.
Now, the one thing you're going to notice here is this massive artificial sun.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
Now, this is not the sword. I know a lot of people think it is, but it is not. It is not the tip of the sword. This is just a artificial sun crystal type thing that actually changes from yellow to purple, and when it does change purple, from the sounds of things, these spawns of the zone will actually change. So that's going to be a really interesting mechanic, and I can't wait to see how that works.
Basically every time it goes purple, I guess there's going to be like some kind of Nerubian invasion that we're going to have to push back along with the people of Hallowfall. So it sounds like a cool world event that's going to keep occurring. I hope that's what it is.
Into Alpha. When you're in Hallowfall, you will encounter a new human race called the Arathi.
These look so badass. These look so freaking cool. Like like I said, I play a Death Knight. I don't even care about paladin stuff, but this shit looks badass. My God. And look how they have light stored in vials here. Liquid light or something going on. Man, I can't wait to meet these guys. These guys just look like freaking Giga Chads.
Where their city of Mirladar is located. They're actually not native to Hallowfall, and you're going to find out why they've ended up in Hallowfall. But yes, this human race of holy fire wielders will be kind of the main antagonists of the zone of Hallowfall, and they have some really interesting and awesome architecture as they worship the light. So yeah, awesome. A lot of interesting kind of lore that is...
You just made my day.
What the fuck? Alexa scared the shit out of me. What the hell was that? What's going on with everything? Yeah, this looks amazing. This looks amazing. I like the way this looks a lot. I'm guessing there's going to be some symbolism here that we're going to find out about later. But doesn't this look like a sun? To me, like if you look at this with the circle with the beams of light, these triangles coming off, there's something very different about the light they worship here in Hallowfall, and I think we're going to find out a lot more. God,
It's going to be going on around this zone. Now, one thing they definitely have stressed a lot is that this zone does not feel like it's underground at all and will feel like you're on the surface. But again, pre-alpha, once we get to play it a little bit, we obviously will be able to kind of tell whether or not we feel underground. But from all the footage and all of the kind of art and stuff, it doesn't look like it is. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it feels when you're actually flying around it. Hallowfall will feature 4 delves: the Skittering Breach,
damn, we're getting a lot of delves.
Sanctum, the Sinkhole, and the Mycomancer Cavern. It'll also feature 2 dungeons: the Priory, the Sacred Flame, which is a level up dungeon, and the Dawnbreaker, which is a max level dungeon. And just after Hallowfall, you'll end up in your final zone, and that is Azket. This is the deepest zone you'll encounter in Khaz Algar.
Nerubian zone.
Now, this is a sprawling Nerubian city, and a lot of the kind of assets and art style that you will see here look very similar to what we've seen in Wrath of the Lich King. But of course, updated 2024 graphics looks absolutely incredible. But yes, you're going to encounter a lot of Nerubians in Azket. Now, these Nerubians will be gathering the black blood of the old gods in this zone, and you'll find out more about that once we get through the questing and the
so supposedly Xal'atath is having these Nerubians gather this blood for her. So there's clearly a plan here. These Nerubians, you remember, they kind of had an allegiance to the old gods long ago, and that kind of fell off, and it looks like they're realigning themselves with the void and the old gods and everything else. They're clearly doing Xal'atath's bidding here. She's gathered them together to gather this old god blood. Which old god? We're not quite sure yet, but this is going to be very interesting to find out more about.
For Azket, as this is the final zone of Khaz Algar. Azket will also feature 3 delves: the Spiral Weave, the Rakrethan Abyss, and the Deepwalker Hold, as well as 2 dungeons: the City of Threads, which will be a level up dungeon, and a max level dungeon called the Old City. This is also going to be
the Old City. That sounds badass, man. Dawnbreaker, these sound great. But the Old City? Oh, shit.
Old City. This is also going to be the location of your first raid, the Nurubar Palace. This is the first raid of the War Within expansion, and it is a 8-boss raid with Nerubian theming. As mentioned, it is in Khaz Algar, so expect a lot.
It'll be a nice change up in terms of art style from what we've been getting to this. This will be very cool. I'm excited to do some Nerubian stuff. I think their architecture is very cool.
Of Nerubians and things like that. We don't know too many details. We had like a really early map shown at BlizzCon, but other than that, it's an 8-boss raid called the Nurubar Palace, and we'll definitely find out more once we get into Alpha. But yeah, those are the 4 zones of Khaz Algar that you'll encounter in the War Within expansion. They look pretty great. They're all very unique. I am a little bit concerned about them being all underground, but I think from...
That is my one concern, definitely, is that they're all underground. But if you consider Hallowfall, because the way it looks not to be underground, then technically you've got 2 above ground, 2 below, right? You got your first zone, and then the Hallowfall zone, and then you got the Nerubian zone and the other one. So those as being underground. So with that, I'll be okay. But I just hope, we don't get sick of it. Also, even the raid he just mentioned, that this looks like it's underground, right? So I'm just scared that we're going to get a little bit into like, oh my God, we're always in the darkness. We're always underground. Like, I wonder how that's going to feel after a while. But we'll give it a chance. We'll see how it ends up.
Expansion. They look pretty great. They're all very unique. I am a little bit concerned about them being all underground.
Probably right,
but I think from what we've heard from Blizzard at BlizzCon and various different interviews, they're pretty confident in the fact that it won't feel like you're kind of trapped underground the entire expansion. But, this is pre-alpha. We've got quite a lot of footage and images and things from BlizzCon. It is really nice to be able to see all these zones and things like that. But yes, obviously, once alpha launches, we'll be going a little bit deeper into these zones and the stories and things like that, which I'm very much looking forward to. But yeah, there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of Khaz Algar as of pre-alpha. I love the look of the Isle of Dawn. I feel like that's already going to be my favorite zone, but we'll have to see. Hallowfall also looks very, very nice.
Look at these
alpha
images.
Coming this spring, so not too long to wait now, and as you'd expect, more content will come from me once the alpha launches. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon, and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, Dragonflight PTR, the War Within Alpha, Beta, all that good stuff, guys, I'm on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, no, great video. I'm very excited for a lot of these zones. Again, I share a lot of his concerns with the underground stuff and everything like that, but we'll have to see how it plays out. Overall, the art styles look great. I'm very excited to see some of this stuff.